It's the Unhappy Hour.
Broadcasting to you live from the Milky Way galaxy, the solar system. In case you're out there, you want to set your coordinates. Milky Way galaxy, Earth, North America, United States of America, California. Hello, everybody. My name's Brian Engelman, and you are listening to another episode of the Unhappy Hour. Because we're Cleveland sports fans, and the Indians, Browns, and Cavaliers have not won a championship in my lifetime. All three sports? Seriously? Not a single... nothing? Playoffs? Talking about playoffs? Are you kidding me? I just hope we can win a game. Yeah, that's why we call it the Unhappy Hour, by the way. I just wanted to let that sink in. Now back to the music. Oh, by the way, music composed by my brother, Chris Engelman. Thank you very much, Chris, with his elevated tracks. He was also the guitar player in Twist of Nothing. If you look online, you'll find a couple of videos on YouTube from a decade ago. Still good stuff, though, I promise you. But hey, speaking of online, there's a couple things you guys need to do. We have a group on Facebook. It's called The Unhappy Hour Sports Show. Okay? The Unhappy Hour Sports Show. Go over there. Join the Facebook group. Because the conversations just keep going. And it's hilarious. We're starting a mega fantasy football league. Sorry, it's all full for this year, but you can get on the waiting list for next year. Unless we grab another 12 or 24 people, we could have a mega league. But anyway, it's really fun. If you're a fan of the Indians, Cavs, Browns, and Buckeyes, like, this is going to be a hub where you're going to share stories, you're going to get breaking news, we're going to have spirited debate, good conversation. Should the Browns sign Ray Rice? Seriously? Why do I have to think about that? Running game has looked weird. But anyway, go check it out. The Unhappy Hour Sports Show. It's on Facebook. It's a group. And if we can click on your... because we got to verify. You know, and we do have some misguided souls who are, you know, Cavs fans and Buckeye fans, but they also root for the Tigers or the Steelers or the Lions or the Packers, or, you know, and that's okay. You know, not everybody is hardcore 100%, and that's fine. But, you know, this is the crux of what you're getting here. Like, this is Ohio sports in a nutshell. But it's all growing really fast. Check it out. Also on Facebook, The New American Media. We cover a lot of politics. We try to have humorous stuff, interesting stuff, funny stuff. But yeah, a lot of politics. And, you know, we just posted a show with John B. Wells. If you've never heard him, you need to check it out, especially since now I'm speaking to my sports people. Check out 2 weeks ago or a week ago, whatever. 2 weeks ago I had John B. Wells on, covering a whole wide variety of what's going on in the world, including the 2016 presidential race and Hillary Clinton. Yeah, I think it's going to be Joe Biden. I think it's going to be Joe Biden. I think Barack Obama's setting her up. I really do. I really do. And I don't think Jeb Bush stands a chance for the Republicans. There is, like, no interest in him. There's not going to be. We're over the oligarch thing. At least I am. But anyway, I digress. I try to keep most of that conversation. We talk about that and more on a show called Agree to Disagree, where you pretty much discuss anything you talk with people about inside of a bar. Finance and religion and politics and all that jazz. You know, we just try to keep it mostly civil. Mostly civil. So check that out. Our homepage is thenewamericanmedia.com. On the right-hand side of thenewamericanmedia.com is TNAM Radio. That's where you click play to listen to this show live. Then on Twitter, we're at American_media_. And on Facebook, just do the search. Okay, so Cleveland Browns. Hey, you know, I just watched the first few series. I'm halfway through. I will watch the rest of it. But, you know, I had to record it, and it was on the West Coast, and came on at 10 o'clock, and anyway, Josh McCown looked good. Johnny Manziel looked a lot better. Danny Shelton looks like the real deal. So we'll talk about that. Talk about the Indians, 6.5 games back. I mean, hey, you know, they took, 3 or 4 from the Yankees? That's nice. Lost last night. I mean, is it too late in the season? Down 6.5. Or can we go on a run and have a chance here? Should we sign Ray Rice? Will Terrelle Pryor get a spot on the team with the Cleveland Browns? Is Tristan Thompson ever going to sign with the Cavs? Are we going to sign and trade him for Markieff Morris? I don't know, but we're going to talk about these things with Zak Baris. So let's bring him on the program, shall we? I think we shall. Yeah. My favorite part. The telephone.
Hey, Brian, how you doing?
Oh, Zach, I'm living the dream. How are you, sir?
I'm good, too. I'm up in Sonoma right now. It's hot as can be up here.
Yeah, I saw some pictures up there, sipping on some wine, I see. How hot is it? Is it triple digits?
It's in the 90s. No, it's supposed to be triple digits. I've got a wedding tomorrow, and it's supposed to hit close to triple digits. So.
Oh, okay. Have fun, man. Congratulations.
Yeah.
And
Thanks.
Central and Northern California is just really, I don't know, it's kind of like a magical place. You just gotta wander around in some of these cities, whether it's San Francisco or Paso Robles or what have you. It's a neat spot, man. Well, anyway, yeah, I hope you're having fun up there. I know we just got our heat wave yesterday. It's not too bad. I had it 117 degrees out here on me before, so it's not that crazy.
That was in 2000. Oh, that was 2010 in October.
It was nuts, man. I remember it like it was yesterday.
I remember that. I was there. I remember it like crazy, and my air conditioner didn't turn off in my house all day.
Well, that would be awesome since you had one. We didn't. It's so weird because LA is only chilly for a couple months out of the year, and it's only hot out here for a couple months a year. I don't have a working heater, and I don't have air conditioner. Like I don't use the stuff. It's like a $5 part.
I never
for the
turn
heater.
on my. I rarely. In my house, I turn on my heat. My apartment, I don't think I ever turn on my.
Yeah, it's a totally different world out here. But you've been gone for how long now, Zach? 2 years? Give or take?
2 years now. Yeah.
Jeez, what are you up to? Are you gonna keep on the same path you're on? I know you used to be. Did you ever tell people?
What I'm doing, yeah.
Did you ever tell people publicly what like your situation exactly, who you were working with and what you were doing? I know we always said
they can look it up online.
Yeah, it's there. So you're not going to be a scout anymore. You're just going to keep doing the consulting.
Not necessarily. For the time being, I'm doing what I'm doing. I'm happy doing what I'm doing. It doesn't mean, in the future, who knows what the future has in store.
Yeah, you can. We have Donald Trump running for president. So, I mean, you never know what's going to happen out of nowhere. Go, okay, well, there you go. Yeah, you can't ever limit opportunities. And I guess we have the opportunity, Zach, to pick any sport. Do we want to talk Buckeyes? Do we want to talk Browns? Do we want to talk Tribe? Do we want to talk Cavs? Where do you want to start?
I don't want to talk Tribe.
Well, then if you don't want to talk Tribe...
They just piss me off.
Then let's wrap it up on that. I said 6.5 games back this late in the season. Is it's a done deal? It's over?
Not over. I mean, most likely it is. They don't have the offense to compete, really.
Yeah, it really is disappointing. That pitching has been just so good all season.
Their bullpen needs some work, too, though.
Okay, that's fair. Well,
starting pitching has been fantastic.
Yeah, we got to do something. We've been getting close. That one-game playoff with the Rays a couple years ago, but really, the Tribe has got to bounce back and be a consistent, competitive team. I know it can. It did it before, but yeah, we did it last time with Albert Bell and Kenny Lofton and Tomey and Ramirez with offense. So, anyway, all right, moving past the Tribe. What about the Buckeyes? Who's going to be the quarterback?
I think you're going to see a mix between Cardale and Barrett. I mean, now that there's not three guys, I don't think anyone sits on. I mean, I think you're going to see your mixes of plays for Barrett. I think you're going to see your mixes of plays for Cardale Jones. Cardale throws the deep ball a lot better than Barrett. Barrett tends to be a better decision maker. But, like I said, Cardale's got the arm.
It's going to be an interesting system. So you think it's not someone's going to win the position and then that's that. Someone sits on the bench. You're going to see Tim Tebow and Chris Leak.
I think you're going to see a lot of mix. I think you're going to see a mix.
Pretty much Tim Tebow, Chris Leak, kind of 80-20, 70-30.
Tebow was a freshman and Chris Leak was there. So, Tebow was coming in goal line situations. Tebow wasn't getting, 6, 7, 8 drives a game. Tebow was getting the goal line plays. That's what he was getting. That's what he was there for. It's a little bit different. I think you're going to see a mix. I think it's going to be, one of those Stanley Jackson, Joe Germain type systems, possibly kind of like that. I think you're going to see a lot. I think you're going to see packages designed for both quarterbacks. Let's put it that way.
I think we're going to make Sports Center's top plays every single time we play with triple laterals. Braxton Miller hands it off to J.T. Barrett, who pitches it to Cardale Jones, who throws it back to... I seriously think it's going to be a Harlem Globetrotters season, and our schedule allows us to do that. Do you think it's going to get that wacky? I do, and I hope it does.
I think it's going to be a little nuts. But, I mean, here, let's put it this way. The Buckeyes are a really good football team. And, either way, whatever happens, whoever's at quarterback, you've got two real viable options. I don't know how, the thing is, I don't know really if Braxton can throw the ball. His arm never really healed. That was the problem. Which is why one of the reasons he converted to receiver in the first place.
They're offering bits and pieces of information. They're giving you hints toward what's going on there. I don't know. As far as I've seen it, my understanding is that he was concerned that it might not be, so he wanted to develop this side just to make sure he could immediately do something while it continued healing. I don't know that he's completely given up QBing, and I don't know that he had a weird, a relapse or anything, unless I missed part of the story.
Yeah, yeah, that's the thing. I just don't know if it really healed. I don't know what happened. So, I don't know what's happening in his recovery process. But
you think he's going to be productive out there in that?
I think he's such a good athlete. He's a freak athlete. Yeah, I think he'll be productive. It's better that he's learning the position now rather than at the NFL level where he'll be a third or fourth round pick and then struggle. He's getting a full year at the position, so let's see what he can actually do. I have full confidence in him because he's got speed. Look what he did at quarterback running out of the pocket.
Oh, yeah.
I truly believe that he will be successful just because he's such a good athlete.
Well, let's bounce it over to the Cleveland Browns then. Obviously, I want to talk about Johnny Manziel and Josh McCown. I want to talk about Danny Shelton. But since we're talking about this quarterback from Ohio State switching positions, let's talk about Terrelle Pryor. It really did not help that he was dinged up and couldn't play in this practice. But I think from what I'm hearing, it seems like the coaching staff has a position worked out for him. Maybe it's quarterback number 3 and maybe a different position, but him not being on the field.
He's healthy and even makes the roster.
Yeah, that's exactly. Are they going to make it happen? Are they going to allow the chance that it could happen, or it's unlikely it's going to happen, but it's bringing excitement? Those are the questions we have to ask with Terrelle Pryor. What do you think it's going to come down to?
I think he's a hell of an athlete, but let's see if he actually gets on the field. Right now he's hurt. If he gets on the field, maybe he can make something happen. But it's going to be tough. It's going to be tough for this team.
Yeah, people were asking if Travis Benjamin, that's something Greg Moore sent the message in. He was asking if Pryor is to make the spot, who is he going to replace? Travis Benjamin? He caught the touchdown yesterday.
That's the question. Right now you have this kid, Josh Lenz, too. I didn't watch the second half of last night's game. I'm in Sonoma. It just wasn't my priority. I watched the first half last night with the starters, and it wasn't my obligation to watch the backups.
That's where I got to as well.
I watched McCown,
I did the first
I
half.
watched Johnny. I didn't need to watch Connor Shaw play quarterback last night. No offense against Connor Shaw. I just don't need to watch a bunch of third-teamers.
Yeah.
I gave away my tickets for last night's game. Unfortunately I wasn't there, but it wasn't the end of the world.
Yeah.
But McCown looked good. He got saved by the pass interference play, but, he looked good on the first drive. He did. He found a bunch of open guys, made some smart throws. Johnny looked, he was average. Then he came in, made a couple of nice reads and then ran it in for the touchdown, and that's about where I turned it off.
Yeah, same here. And they're saying now that on one of the plays, on one of the key plays, on a third down, the helmet wasn't working, so they weren't communicating with the coaching staff, so he caught on after a couple seconds and he ran out. He just called a play on the fly. He called an audible. That's a big deal for a player that didn't play many games last year, didn't play very well last year, had to get his head straight and get his ego checked. Thankfully, he didn't make the stupid money sign in the end zone. But, just being able to have that kind of poise, to me, that shows that Johnny Manziel's growing. What did you make of Johnny's performance?
I thought it was a good performance. Like I said, at first, he had the fumble. It wasn't great at first. It improved, though, as he was going on. He got a touchdown. So, but initially they punted, then there was the fumble, and then he came in and they scored. He made a couple of nice throws. It's definitely more, it's not as improvised as it was a year ago. Let's put it that way. Last year he just took off and ran, it seemed like, on every play. And he was running out of the pocket trying to find someone open. It was more of a, free-for-all style of football. And, last night it didn't seem to be that.
Yeah, it's like backyard pickup football like I used to play growing up all the time. It's, you just count to 3 1,000 or 5 1,000, and then you can blitz the quarterback. And yeah, you got to know where the defense is going to be and where your players are going to be blocking and what scheme. If you want to improvise, you got to get those basics down first. And yeah, Johnny was going to get himself hurt if he continued playing like he did last year. And then McCown, I really liked watching these quarterbacks. It looks like their new offensive system, Zach.
But also, don't forget, a couple of years ago, Brandon Whedon looked great in the preseason.
But did the timing look so crisp? It was just like things.
No, not necessarily,
fast.
but I mean, still, it's the preseason. Starters are out. It's just, let's see what happens in the regular season. It's always great to be optimistic in the preseason, but like I said, doesn't necessarily translate.
Yeah, you're very true about that. I think I did a show with John.
I mean, don't forget, Hoyer looked bad in the preseason last season, and they started off so hot. It's just like, wow. So let's see what happens.
I did a show with John Telich about Colt McCoy being the type of quarterback that could lead us to a championship. He came out, he looked solid. It looked like he had a good head on his shoulders, and he had a good game plan, and, man, nothing ever made sense from there. But speaking about good head on his shoulders, the Browns' running back situation is really thin, and I keep hearing these Ray Rice rumors. What's your take on all this?
I'm hearing him, too. I do not want Ray Rice. I think he's a piece of crap off the field, and he's a piece of crap on the field. I mean, he hasn't done... He wasn't good. He wasn't good. He was not. If it was Adrian Peterson, he wouldn't have been cut.
Yeah, it was
he's not
different.
Adrian Peterson. He's not what he was 3 years ago.
Yeah, I drafted him in my fantasy league, and he was really good the first year and not so good the next year. So, he's not. But the interesting part about it is people that say, "Oh, for what he did, I don't want," and it's like, wait a minute. What's Jim Brown been doing for the past couple decades and as a history with women? And he's celebrated. LeBron is bowing to him on a court. It's like, it's a little absurd when you
the thing is, it just wasn't as... I mean, Jim Brown threw a woman off of a second-story balcony.
Yeah. We got to say that out loud because it happened. We don't like to, but it's what happened.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not the biggest Jim Brown fan, to tell you the truth. I'm not.
Hell of a running back, but
he was a hell of a player, but
I actually just
the man
referenced.
Sure had his issues and had a temper.
Yeah, I actually referenced that movie. I'm Gonna Get You, Sucker, with Chris Rock and Jim Brown and everybody. I don't know if you've ever seen it, but I recommend that you do. I hope we stay away from Ray Rice. It's somebody on this running back crew, maybe Duke Johnson, and it's early preseason. These guys don't need to be ready for week 1 against Washington. They just don't.
Yeah, I just don't want Ray Rice. I mean, I think it's a head case. It brings along a media circus with it. It's the last thing the Browns need right now, because with the more media attention they get, the more attention comes back to Johnny Manziel. The more attention, it's just not what this team needs. Not.
You're so right about that. We don't need CNN over there and the Huffington Post, and I don't want it. They didn't want Hard Knocks either. They said we will turn it down if given the opportunity. We do not want to do this. Like, they were very vocal, and it's like, why
it'd be different if Johnny Manziel wouldn't have had such a bad season last year. And I'm not talking just on the field; I'm talking off the field too. If he would have actually progressed and been a great first-round pick last year and had a great year, I don't think the Browns would have had a problem with Hard Knocks. It was the fact that all the attention came with it, and everything was negative about Johnny last year. There were no positives last year that came out of that.
No, it was kind of a train wreck. And you look at the other pick, Justin Gilbert said his play was flawless yesterday. I mean, he was getting burned.
He almost gave up a touchdown. He got burnt a bunch of times. He should have given up a second touchdown. Yet it was a bad throw by RG3. I don't know what he's watching or what he's smoking, but, I mean, he's not, he just isn't good. The Browns are very, very fortunate to have guys like Joe Hayden, Tremont Williams,
Dante Whitner.
They have Kewan Williams. They have also, Pierre Desir, too, who looked good at the end of the season.
Tayshaun
so they have
Gibson.
4 viable quarterbacks.
Well, I mean, Tayshaun Gibson is back there. Dante Whitner's back there. I mean, that Browns defensive secondary is stacked, like Minifield-Dixon stacked,
I'm not a Gilbert fan personally to this point. I really like to see him improve. He was great last year in the Colts scheme. He had one really great game. And other than that, he was terrible.
Number 7 pick. I mean, we could have had any number. Sammy Watkins. Imagine how much that changes when you got Hartline.
I think he was the number 9 pick. I think he was the number 9.
Yeah, I mean, roundabout. It's just you think about it. When you're top 10, that player needs to be playing. Did you have a chance to take a look at Cam Irving or Danny Shelton?
I mean, I've been rewatching him. Danny Shelton looked good. I mean, they weren't able to run up the middle last night, but they were able to run to the outside, which was a problem.
Yes, it was.
The Browns do need that, getting rid of Ataba Rubin, I think, was big. He was terrible last season. getting a healthy John Hughes back will be big for this team. I'd like to see, I do believe in this defense, to see guys like Nate Orchard. I'd like to see Barkevius Mingo healthy to see what he can finally do. And also to see Joe Banner, let's see defend him on Twitter.
Well, that's your legacy. You know it. You worked in it. It all comes down to who you draft and what their long-term plan is. And you don't know how they're going to respond mentally. You don't know if they're going to get a tweak injury. That's such a random part of the crapshoot of all this. It's just, but when you get a Justin Gilbert, and it's like him and Johnny Manziel, their heads were not on straight last year, and neither was Josh Gordon. It's like, okay, these three guys with tons of talent are, it's killing us because they got tons of talent. They could be helping the team, and they're doing the exact opposite, hurting the team.
Yep.
Did you make anything of watching Hartline last night? Getting our first look at him in Browns uniform?
He looked decent. Like I said, I still think the Browns lack a true number one receiver.
Yeah. Who is our number one receiver? Dwayne Bowe?
Yeah, technically it is Dwayne Bowe.
He didn't play last night. Pryor didn't play. Joe Thomas didn't play. Joe Hayden didn't play.
No, that's why you can't get a real read out of the preseason because, you have a lot of starters that are not playing, and for good reason. Look what happened last night. I'm trying to think of his name. Niles Paul, the starting tight end for.
Oh yeah, that injury.
The starting tight end for the Redskins. It's so unfortunate what happens to see. These are basically supposed to be scrimmages, and you're seeing guys that are just out for the season after game one.
That was a fluke play, thankfully. It was just he dove and the leg whipped around, and it was bad timing. It's unfortunate. I wish
it just sucks because the
does.
guy's season's ruined because of a meaningless football game. It happens all the time. We saw Charles Bentley in the first practice. Knee broke down. The guy never played again.
Yeah, that was the big free agent signing. What was it, from the Saints, right?
Yep, and the Browns swooped in there with a huge offer, got back to hometown, and said it was a multi-time Pro Bowl. And his career never recovered because of multiple staph infections. Not his fault.
Oh, man.
It just was unfortunate it happened.
That was kind of like the last. What year was that? 07, 05, 06. It was.
No, it was. I don't even know what year that was now.
It had to have been 06 because I remember where I was at the time. I was still working at a talent agency, and I remember talking with the guys, and they started just laughing at me and mocking the Cleveland Browns' luck right after the signing. So it had to be 06, I believe. Yeah, and those things have happened in the past. And would you do away with the preseason? What would you do?
There's only so much you can do. That's why I just keep the really, the prolific starters out of the game. If they don't need to be in there, they don't need to be in there. But like I said, injuries happen in practice all the time too. Injuries happen. It's all about proper conditioning also. It's unfortunate, like I said, that they do happen. It just sucks.
Yeah. Well, I always found the scrimmages to be helpful when I played in high school, and I always found I liked preseason. It was okay. It was a good chance for me to go up against some 6'8" left tackles and kind of go, no, I can get these guys. All right, I got this. Yeah, they're big and strong, but I'm fast and quick, so I got to play them different than I'd play another. Okay, I got this. So yeah, a lot of it just comes down to luck. And hopefully those years of Kellen Winslow on a motorcycle luck stop turning from that and start turning into more, 10-year careers that are Pro Bowlers like Joe Thomas, who revealed, did you hear that he'd had some MCL problems over the past few years?
Yeah,
and he played through them?
I'm like, wow, he played through all of that. It's pretty cool to think about. He's one of the iron guys in the NFL, and there's a reason why he's going to be a Hall of Famer.
Just an incredible man, an incredible player that... Wouldn't it be great to get the rest of this team on board and get a title for someone like that? That guy totally represents the Cleveland mentality, the Northeastern Ohio, the flyover state mentality of just going to work and getting things done and busting your ass. That it would be so great for the Browns to get a title. Do you like the uniforms, by the way?
I loved them last night. I really was impressed. I'm not going to lie.
I have a hunch it's going to take me a while to forget about the different shade of just the old jerseys, the old style, the old lettering, the old coloring. They're not very different, but they're different enough where it looks more like Bowling Green than Cleveland.
There's no doubt it was different. It didn't remind me of the Browns. It felt like something else was out there. But you know what? If they win with these, then that's all that's going to remember. we've had a miserable last 15, 16 years with the Browns, you know, in their current uniforms. You know what? It was time for a change. You know, I'm not saying out with the old and with the new, but it was time for a change.
It very much was. And, you know, all the hype for the new uniforms, and then it's just, you know, it's a blank helmet, and it's just
you know, and also,
a different
you know,
shade of orange.
The new ownership and the new front office is bringing in a new regime. They're bringing in, you know, they basically thought whatever Randy Lerner did, and you have to look at the stadium and go in there and say what Randy Lerner did, it was stale.
Yeah,
Everything about it was just stale. The stadium sucked. Everything about it, there was no advertising. I mean, now they're promoting the team more. Everything. You know, it's just, I feel like almost everything's better. You know, food options are better. Just, I mean, the talent's better on the field. You know, they're, like I said, they're not a great team. They don't really have a quarterback, but it's the first time they've had legitimate talent on the field.
And I'll tell you, Josh McCown looks good.
If McCown can at least be decent to good, this is a very good football team. We saw what they could do when they were healthy last year.
And people will say the running game last night was non-existent. We should sign Ray Rice, blah, blah, blah. Joe Thomas wasn't playing. It's preseason. You saw what we did last year with competent quarterback play and how you know, 2 running backs with 700 yards and a bunch of touchdowns each. You know, that's a solid. Anyway, I think it's going to be strong with the running game once things get going. And McCown could actually surprise people. I see this team, if they get it right, and they could go off the rails, they could have ups and downs, or they could have it right from the beginning, and their schedule looks like it might allow them to. I could see them as a playoff team. I could absolutely see it.
You know, are the Bengals that much better than them? No.
Ravens,
and the Bengals
Steelers.
are a playoff team.
You know, this is Pettin's second year, too. You know, he's getting better at his job. He's more understanding of the whole scenario. Like, these are things that you have to consider, and it's like, I just think we have enough really good talent coming of age at the right time. Yeah, man, I'm excited for the season. Are you planning on going to? You're still a season ticket holder, right? Every game.
Well, I got rid of my season tickets.
That's right.
Then
we did talk about that.
And then they you know, so they got me on the season tickets. I lost them when I tried to renew them, so I went back. So I will be having club seats this year. I also with the new club and everything, so it'll be nice.
Oh, there you go. You plan on coming out to the West Coast at all?
I'll be there soon. Not sure. I mean, I'm here right now.
Sorry, man. That's right. You're a few hours north of me. Yeah.
I will be in LA at some point soon. It's not going to be long.
Hey, speaking of being in LA at some point, who's going to be in LA? Are we getting 1 team, 2 team, 3 team, no team?
I don't know what the deal is. I mean, honestly, I'd like to see the Rams move back because they're from LA. I mean, well, technically they're from Cleveland, but you know, I'd like to see the Rams back in LA. The Chargers, I'd like to see stay in San Diego. Honestly, I think there's nothing Oakland can do to stay in Oakland. You know, the city doesn't want to build them a new stadium. They have a piece of crap stadium. You know, the Raiders are just like the team that, I mean, Oakland, the city just has so many problems.
I could see him leaving. I could see him coming back to Los Angeles. What a weird
here's
journey.
The thing is, Oakland in a couple of years is going to have no teams. The Warriors are going to be in San Francisco. I mean, granted, it's across the bay, but Oakland will have 0 teams.
I mean, tell me that doesn't do something to the psyche of a region. I know what it did to Cleveland. I mean, totally different. Every city, you know, has their own allegiances.
I mean, with the Warriors moving, it's not like the Warriors, you know, the Warriors fan base is primarily in San Francisco and Oakland, so it's not a big deal. But, you know, they're moving a few miles away. But look, I mean, losing the Raiders is a big deal. Very big. It's not like the Raiders are moving to San Jose, you know, like the 49ers did. You know, the 49ers, for those who are unaware, do not play in San Francisco or anywhere close to San Francisco. They're 50 miles south.
Even Ohio State, it's a couple hours south of Cleveland. You know, so it's like you go out of your market to go, well, I'm also a Buckeye fan, but I'm from Cleveland. You know, but the thing is, there is no other closer team in the state.
I will tell you, if the Browns moved to Columbus, I would stop watching them. I'd be pissed. It would not be my team.
Hold on. Wait, you think... Hold on. But the Browns are talking about moving their practice facility to Columbus.
Yeah, that's nothing. They're not moving their stadium. They're not moving the team to Columbus.
Yeah, because all the Columbus people always come up.
Here's the problem. Columbus is a melting pot of people. You have 4 football teams within 3 hours. You have Cincinnati within 2. Cleveland within 2.
Indy.
Indianapolis within 2.5 hours, and the Steelers within 2 hours.
Jeez.
Cleveland's trying to make their mark on winning Columbus. In order to do it, you have to put a winning product on the field. Yet you have to increase your fandom by having, a presence in Columbus. By saying we're the football team for Columbus.
Yeah, you got to win for a decade. Look at all the Steelers infiltration that's come in because we've sucked for so long. I hate seeing terrible towels in our stadium. I hate seeing the flags, and because that's kind of the result of decades of ineptitude. If we had our state under control and taking care of our own business, they would have no business being a fan.
You wouldn't see any terrible towels anymore in that stadium.
Well, then how about we just get there this year already? Let's do that. Let's go Super Bowl or bust this year. What would you?
Let's talk about the playoffs.
Playoffs? You want to talk about playoffs? Kidding me? I just hope we can win a game. No, I do want to talk about this before I let you go. The team that did make the playoffs, the Cleveland Cavaliers. Another question from Greg Moore. He wants to know, what in the world is going on with this Tristan Thompson absurd deal? What are we talking
from
about?
What I'm understanding is Tristan wants 5 for $94. That's a lot.
Uh-huh.
You know what? Tristan, I'd rather have Tristan than not have him. Let's put it that way.
Okay.
That's all I can say.
Right, me too. But, I mean, don't we...
That's all I can say.
Don't we also need other players on this team?
They have other players. They've got Kevin Love locked up. They've got LeBron. They've got Kyrie locked up. You've got Mo Williams for 2 years. You've got Shumpert for 4. They've got players locked up.
Mozgov.
You have their core locked up.
Hold on. Would you rather pay a 30 or 31-year-old Mozgov 94 or Tristan?
Mozgov's not going to get 94. Mozgov will get 4 for 50 in that range, 4 for 60.
Everything I'm hearing, Zach, says that it's going through the roof. Windhorst is convinced there's going to be multiple offers for a max deal for Tristan Thompson immediately, with the salary cap going up. I don't know what we're supposed to do, but I mean, is this the Dan Gilbert, LeBron James tax? Are they playing their hand right? Is this going to cause a problem with this team?
They'll wind up with Tristan. They're fine. I'm telling you. Just let it work itself out. I haven't been wrong about the Cavs yet. So
I don't. Fine. Okay, then let's set aside that we will get that done. Is that going to hamstring us where we can't make any other flexible moves to keep this team going? I mean, is it going to tie our hands in the future?
David Griffin's done a good job. He's a great general manager. They'll find ways to make trades. You have other assets you can move and trade always.
I mean, who would the Cavs move? Varejao? I mean, we're kind of... Okay, for this next season, we're probably all set. But, yeah, then we talk 1 or 2 years down the road and things can change. All right, well then...
This team, if you re-sign Tristan, you get J.R. Smith back or you trade for Jamal Crawford, has very, very few holes.
What about Markieff Morris? We're hearing he doesn't want to play over there with the Suns anymore. There's already rumors that there might be sign-in trades.
Have you heard his name linked to Cleveland?
I've heard a couple things.
I haven't heard his name linked to Cleveland.
Yeah, especially the longer this Tristan thing happens. I've been hearing things.
Markieff Morris is no Tristan Thompson. I will tell you that right now.
Okay, so just let that be.
Mm-hmm.
All right, fine. We let that be. Then let's just let it work out. Let's hope everything. They've done a good job. Compare this year's team to last year's team before LeBron said he was coming back. I think I'll take our chances this year. I'm totally fine with that.
Exactly.
All right, final question, and we'll let you get going here and back to all of the festivities in Northern California. Zak Baris, who is on Twitter, you can follow him at ZBaris. That's ZBaris. The Rio Olympics, people are getting sick down there, and then Los Angeles is in the running for, 2024, I believe. What do you make of this whole thing? Brazil, first off, should it come to L.A.?
With
second
their poop water?
Yeah, the poop water. It's making all the teams sick. It's disgusting.
Sounds disgusting. I wouldn't go in there.
I mean, it's like they're using it as a dump instead of a freshwater facility. I don't know. I don't know how the IOC hasn't been monitoring that over the past few years to make sure that could be a problem.
Another corrupt international committee. There you go.
Wow. You know what? I think we should vote for a Clinton or a Bush while we're talking about corrupt global businesses. What's the difference between politicians and businesses these days? Anyway, I digress. I don't need an answer from you on that one. Okay, what about Los Angeles then? We have the infrastructure for it, but they
that's
want
not
them
going to cause any more traffic problems than there already are in LA.
Did you hear the latest? You haven't been here, but they called for a new 20-year plan for big, for miles at a stretch, like on Venice, on Sunset Boulevard. They want to get rid of driving lanes and put in permanent bus and bike lanes to force more people off the road by clogging up the roads more. Did you hear that one?
I read Curbs LA all the time, so
okay.
I hear just about everything. Honestly, I think what they're doing is so stupid.
Why is that, Zach? Sounds good to me.
What I would do is, rather than building the public transit system underneath Sunset Boulevard and underneath the city, why don't you build an underground freeway like Boston did with underground tunnels? Although the Big Dig was a total disaster, but you want more movement through the city without having to clog up the streets, build tunnel ways, and rather than putting trains down there, put cars down there with freeway exits.
Although we do live on a fault line, Zach, that could be a little iffy.
Yep.
Yeah.
And Boston was underwater, so.
Oh, okay. Fair point. All right. Ping pong. Back on my side. No, it's just weird, but I know with LA, I would like to have it fine, and I know it would be a burden as well. But the part of it is, my understanding is that they want the city to agree to pay any and all overages without knowing what those overages will be. And if you want to talk about corrupt international committees, holy crap! No lawyer would ever allow you to sign something like that.
You know, that's why Boston was smart. Boston turned down the Olympics. They go, listen, we're not going to put up with this. We're not going to make the taxpayers pay this. Why would any city want the Olympics? Every city that has the Summer Olympics is a complete disaster afterwards.
Yeah, those after pictures. Well, I mean, but sometimes they'll throw them into Banana Republic countries, but real backward places,
but
and they give them a nice stadium.
Though, LA can accommodate the Olympics. Let's put it this way. The Rose Bowl can accommodate. Dodger Stadium can. The Coliseum, obviously, if it's fixed up, can.
Staples
there are
Center.
things that can accommodate the Olympics.
Of course.
They have the hotels that can do it. They don't need to build any new hotels.
Exactly.
They're building more hotels as it is anyway. But, there's apartments out there. Airbnb is becoming bigger. An Olympic Village can easily be built down by USC and Watt. Down in that area where the land is cheap and they're gentrifying the area anyway. You can do that. LA is probably the one city in the country, other than New York, that can handle the Olympics as is.
It's built for it if they just organize it properly.
But it won't be. That's number one.
True.
Number two, it's going to cause a cluster, what, in traffic.
Mm-hmm.
Security's going to be an issue.
Oh, security
you got to
will
watch
be
out for terrorism.
That'll be a monster.
You got to watch out for terrorism. I mean, there are a lot there. With the Olympics comes great problems, and it's not something I would want in my city. If the Olympics were personally being held in LA at that point, and I was still living, I'd get the hell out for 2 weeks. That's
what a lot of people do. I haven't been around for one. I've only been here for 10 years now, something like that. But no.
And if I'm still living in Cleveland next summer, I can tell you this. I will not be there during the RNC. Or I'll make my way out to the suburbs.
Hey, maybe I'll be at the RNC backstage getting interviews and getting the scoop. That'll be a heck of a lot of fun. Return home and do that. But yeah, I mean, like you said, Cleveland's a city on the rise, not ready for Olympic on the rise. But that's what they built Municipal Stadium for back in the day.
Cleveland could not handle the Olympics, though. I mean, you've got a great football stadium, a baseball stadium, and a basketball arena. You need an extra stadium. You would need an extra stadium. The thing is, if Ohio State was in Cleveland, they could handle it, but they can't. They don't have the hotels right now. They're still a few years away hotel-wise, from getting anything big like that. You have to have a certain amount of allotted hotel rooms. They don't, Cleveland just couldn't accommodate it. It's not big enough.
Right.
It just is what it is. But, looking at it, LA could have it. But like I said, if I was a resident there, I wouldn't want it.
Yeah,
LA's already a nightmare traffic-wise as it is in the summertime. Even in the winter, but I'm saying in the summertime, it's horrible. And imagine having, I don't like when the city shuts down for marathons. I remember one time I was driving around trying to make left turns. I was on the west side trying to get back to my apartment in Hollywood. And I'm like, can't make a left. I wound up all the way in by Dodger Stadium. I wound up all the way in Frogtown.
I got caught in a May
You know,
Day
trying to make
protest
a lot.
one time when I was on E. May Day protest on the 10, and it was on E. And I'm sitting there, it's bumper to bumper, and there's people picketing all over the overpasses. I'm like, oh man, I got to make sure this never happens to me again. But no, I hear what you're saying. But, fortunately, we'll have a little bit of time to talk about all of these things a little bit more later. And, of course, when we get a Tristan Thomas update, Thompson, I corrected it, Tristan Thompson update. And when we find out what's going on with the tribe, when all this stuff gets going, we'll keep talking. And I appreciate your time, Zach. I'll let you get back up to beautiful wine country. Once again, if you're not following Zach on Twitter, he's at Z Baris. That's at ZBARIS. My name's Brian Engelman for everybody here at the TNAM Radio Network. I appreciate you, and I love you. I'll talk to you later. Peace.
And this is John B. Wells reminding you that not only is Brian Engelman a cool guy, and not only is the newamericanmedia.com a very cool platform, but here's a cool idea for you, too. Are you alone? Not really. Do you like dogs? Do you like cats? You do. Of course you do. Everybody does. One or the other, maybe even both. There are a lot of dogs and cats that are at shelters right now, and if somebody doesn't take them home, they're going to wind up euthanized. That's a nice way of saying they're going to be killed, because there's simply not enough room. I guarantee it, the best dogs and the best cats, the best pets, come from shelters. There's something about dogs and cats. They know. They know where they are. You walk through one of them, and certainly at least one is going to look at you and go, I wish you'd take me home. I'm in hell. Please take me out of here. It'll be the best thing that you ever did for your soul. You'll feel good about it. And not only that, but you have a friend for life. Doesn't matter if you got money, you don't have money. Well, it doesn't make any difference to a dog or cat. All they need is the sound of your voice and maybe even the stroke of your hand, and they're fine. Maybe a little food every once in a while. The sweetest sound that those pets ever hear is your voice. Think it over and adopt a cat or a dog from a local shelter today. I'm telling you, you'll be glad you did.